And the Israeli military is warning residents in part of Iran's capital to evacuate ahead of Israeli strikes. Israel is claiming it has full aerial control over Iran's capital. The two countries exchanged deadly attacks throughout the weekend, and Israeli officials say 5 people are dead in the latest Iranian missile strikes. The IDF also says they killed 4 senior Iranian intelligence officials, and now Israel says its aircraft have gained control over the skies from western Iran to Tehran. ABC News foreign correspondent Marcus Moore is in Tel Aviv with the latest. Hi, Marcus.
Hi, Diane. We are in the heart of Tel Aviv, and I wanted you to see some of the damage that we have been witnessing here at some of the shops. We're close to Allenby Street, if you're familiar with Tel Aviv, and you can see this looks like a clothing shop there, absolutely destroyed. And the same story with this shop that's right next door. This is usually a busy area, people living their lives, coming in and out of these shops on a normal day. But certainly, as you know, this is not a normal time. And last night, when the alerts came out on the cell phones and the air raid sirens went off, people who live in this area and across the region went to their bomb shelters. And soon, the bombs started to fall. And this is the impact of that. You can see the damage to this building across the street. Really, every building that we look at has sustained some bit of damage. And I understand that this part of this building is a hotel, and then there are some businesses down on the first level. But you see all the people here. And what's significant about this, or what's notable about it, Diane, is we're quite a distance away from where the Iranian missile landed. And yet you see all of this destruction. It gives you a sense of the power of these explosions and why they're so dangerous, and while you could be quite a ways away and still be badly injured. And we heard from officials that at least 8 people were killed overnight here in Israel as a result of these strikes. There were also a number of injuries. And in Iran, there have been more than 200 people killed, Diane, as this situation continues to devolve, with both sides saying it's not over. Diane.
All right, foreign correspondent Marcus Moore, thank you. And I want to bring in ABC News national security and defense analyst Mick Mulroy for more. And Mick, Israel now says it has full aerial control over Tehran. What does that do for them?
So, Diane, it happened within 48 hours, really, of this war starting, which is pretty impressive. And now that they have it, they can systematically go down their target list from obviously the nuclear facilities were the main objectives, but military targets, air bases, military bases, economic infrastructure target. They can do that almost at will. They're actually refueling over Iran, which is just shows they have complete control of that situation. It gives them a huge advantage.
You talked about targets. U.S. officials says the U.S. told the Israelis that President Trump is opposed to a plan to kill Iran's supreme leader. How significant is that, and what does it tell you about the conversations happening between the U.S. and Israel right now?
So it is significant. If true, it was clear from Prime Minister Netanyahu's statements that he was pushing for a regime change. He was using this opportunity to try to get the Iranian people to rise up and overthrow the regime. Obviously, a decapitation strike on the Ayatollah would do that. But I think from the U.S. perspective, it would also be completely destabilizing to the region. And of course, he's more than just the leader of Iran. He's a religious figure. So this could cause a huge outcry, potentially many terrorist attack. That's likely, if it was true, why the United States was opposed to a direct strike on him, even after Israel systematically went through the Iranian military, the IRGC, and their nuclear scientist cadre.
So what's the prospect of U.S. involvement in this war with Iran, and where do things stand with the U.S.-Iran nuclear agreement now?
So the U.S. is, I think, taking great pains to explain that we were not involved in this. However, we've also surged a lot of military assets to the region. We're redirecting another aircraft carrier strike group. There was a massive flow of aerial refuelers that left yesterday, headed that direction. I think the U.S. is trying to deter a potential attack against the United States by Iran, by a show of force, essentially. If they were to attack the United States, the military positions in the Middle East, I think President Trump has made it clear that they would see the full wrath of the U.S. military. So I think it's really a deterrent. The United States doesn't want to be drawn into this, except for, of course, the defense of Israel. And Israel has really showed complete conventional overmatch militarily over Iran. So they really don't need our assistance right now.
Mick Mulroy, thank you.